Okay, well, we're back up to. I went ahead and added my Netflix queue, and it seems to work really fine. I wasn't going to because I usually go through um, my TV, but for testing purposes, I think it's important that we go ahead and check out something. So we're going to pick. It's moving actually a little faster than it was moving. I had a lot of delay originally. Um, but let's try. Well, why not? Okay, this is just we're going to play it, see if there's any distortion. Originally I was seeing some artifacting, and there's some quality issues. Now I am in the middle of the day, and I'm on cable, so there isn't really a lot of competition for bandwidth. But so far, actually it looks fairly smooth. And it moves pretty well, nicely too, so I'm kind of pleased about that. Let's see about our skip ahead. And I do like to be able to see the pictures as you scan. I get that off my TV too, it's just not as well. And shoot. This, if anybody has a chance, this is the IT crowd. It's actually very funny. Okay. Now, I'm seeing the same thing I see through my TV. The Tivo is actually very clear. It's almost creepy because with the HD, the magic of TV is just not what it should have been, or what it used to be anyways. I'm sure actors are never going to appreciate this jump in technology. But as you can see, it's actually pretty clear. I don't see a whole lot of artifacting, and it responds very nicely. Let's go ahead and go. Let's go to something else. Like I said, there's some hesitation, but so that works out pretty well. And now let's go ahead and look at something else. Let's browse the wish list again and see if there's anything else that is actually pretty useful. Oh, music choice. I listen to Pandora through this sometimes, but not very often. I don't have a phenomenal like super bass media system. I use a lot of headphones for whenever I become a music. But you can browse and add channels here. Movie FAQs. I don't really. There are some games you can even play on this, but I honestly they're not something that interests me as much. Now there is Amazon. I have gone ahead and looked at Amazon Prime movies do not come through. But if you own anything and your account's already set up through it, you can watch instantly. You can rent shows, all that good stuff. But if you're an Amazon Prime member, you don't get the instant streaming, which I was kind of disappointed to see. That would have been a nice feature to add on. And then, of course, we've got this. But like with everything about Blockbuster, you have to pay through the nose. And I just, I'll be honest, I went to Netflix to leave Blockbuster. So let's go ahead and it does give you what they consider top shows at the moment. And as all of you know, I'm using over the air, so I don't have a huge selection. Music and photos, you know, it's if you have a slideshow that can pull off things. Again, this really isn't something I use very much. There's Pandora, and I use that. That works really well. Showcase and extras. This is where you have games. And one thing I will say is that this Tivo seems to be responding a little faster than the last one I had. And so, new game, please. Okay, there we go. And you basically, this is Connect 4 if you've ever, I never got a chance to play as a kid, but I always thought it was kind of interesting. If you have small children or you're really, really bored, this might be something to interest you. And actually, let's see if there's sound. Let me turn up. Okay, you get the sound from that Tivo makes, which is, and I lost. Bones wins. I am forever scarred. So you get these little mini games, and fortunately you can get out of them. I don't really play them, but I thought it was important to kind of illustrate that they're there. Oh, let's get that. There's Wordsmith, and you can add applications. I think Tivo plans later on to have an app store, but I'm not convinced they're going to be together enough to have. This was kind of an odd little feature. You can browse theater information, but you go ahead and enter your zip code. That's not my zip code, but it's close enough, I figure. And so you can see what's in theater and what's opening. That's actually kind of a neat little thing to have on. I mean, that's sort of useful. I can't believe that they're remaking Fright Night. And find showtimes, past, photo gallery. I would have liked to have seen the trailers. That would have been a nice add-on. But this gives you some extra information. So it's not a huge deal. This is more like I could easily live without that. But hey, that was kind of nice too. You know, that was great. And also the showcases. Now here's something I don't care for very much. On the Tivo, you do get little commercials on your menu system. I could do without that. Sharkmade 3D. Let's see if it gives us a video. Watch trailer. Hey. So the other one doesn't have it, this does. Let's see how the trailer plays. And there's always that. Okay, sounds good. Video quality isn't what I'd like to see. The zoom button doesn't seem to do anything, just so you guys know. I was actually going for mute. But the video quality is very low on this, especially versus my TV. If you didn't have an HD TV or a 1080p, you probably wouldn't notice. But for just seeing the previews, if you don't have a computer close by, and honestly, there are actually people out there who don't, not myself, you'll see that this would be kind of a nice thing to have on board. The tickets and showtimes, if you like it, that's kind of a cool feature. Again, oh, it took me back here. No tickets or showtimes yet. I guess it's not showing. Back to where we were. This kind of stuff, I don't know if I really care for. The advertisements, Texas. I mean, I found out also that I pay a service in the United States. In places like Australia, they don't. So they get their Tivo, and then of course the Tivo makes some money off of this type of stuff. I could have done without the commercials. It doesn't really enhance my Tivo experience anyways. Let's see, is there anything else? Now, when you're troubleshooting, I'll be honest, the Tivo people that you email and ask questions of, they haven't been always the most helpful. And I'm not going to show you the system information because I really don't want you to see my IP. I'm funny that way. But you get a calibration. It does accept a cable card. They've got their little media access keys and things like that going on. This is kind of fun. If you don't, well, it's not fun. It's just something you get. We don't have any messages today, but if you get, like, it moves a program around or it decides there's a conflict and it makes a choice, you'll get messages there. You can have them emailed to you too. Or you can just go here and go, it'll say, this show was used by so-and-so. Now, it has a standby. I don't know if that leaves it the ability to program. Okay, well, we're recording right now. Let's put it in standby and see what happens. Press the Tivo button for live. And actually, my record went out, and everything else went out. So I think if you put in standby, it doesn't record. So let's go ahead and power off. Whenever it's in standby, you have to hit that button, because the other one turns off the TV. And it brings it back online. But if you know you're not going to be around, it's not going to do any recording, maybe you got a room where you've got an extra TiVo and you don't want it doing stuff, that's a nice way to save a few bucks on your power. These machines are not terribly energy efficient. I don't even believe this is Energy Star, which doesn't mean as much as it should. It's still a good idea because it's the momentum that helps out. But, yeah, my TV's powering back up.
Because just one 200
And
celebrate.
now again, you've got your guide. Now one of the things that can happen is if it's recording, you hit the live button and it takes you to your last channel, or there's a last channel button down here at the bottom. I think they could have actually just written last channel next to this and saved themselves a button. But most of these keyboards are stock, and so even if they just have extra buttons, they'll just throw in. This looks really a lot like the same keyboard used by DirecTV. If you were to change the peanut shape and make it elongated, and you leave these colors here and you get rid of A, B, C, D, you can see that there's collaboration on what's going on. So anyways, we know that YouTube works. This is kind of important. The menu system. You go to your to-do list, and it brings up this. Then you go ahead and you see what's coming up, and it's got spliced and CompuHorse rules. And you go here, and it gives you messages like Dr. Oz show won't record. This episode does not record because it is a repeat. So you can actually find out why stuff didn't happen. And what was happening with the other Tivo was it was trying to download things and it just would not give up. I mean, it would try for days. And I think what's going on is I think it was a combination of one, it had some bad corrupted code in it, and two, some of the online content doesn't exist anymore, or they haven't put it in a format that Tivo understands. Tivo's encoding could be a little better. So this is a redemption and a follow-up final review, and I find that the new Tivo behaves very nicely. It moves a little bit faster than the old one, and the picture quality is still very clear. I'll merge this with the other reviews so it's just one straight across. I don't have a Hulu Plus account, and I'll be honest, I'm not going to get one. So we're just seeing what happens if I go to the Hulu Plus, and my guess is it's going to tell me to put in money. Do you already have this? No, I don't. View samples. Hey, here we go. Super Size Me was good. I never understood a ninja in orange jumpsuit, so we're not going to worry about that. Spaced Beginnings. Okay, here's three guys on top of a roof. I don't quite get that. Carl Sagan. Let's preview this. And I'll add a little sound, see what comes through. Okay. So it goes and loads, and can't go wrong with Carl Sagan. And now the load times, like I said, the TV also accepts a lot of this content, and I've had other DVRs. I've had Atlantic Scientific.
To you with limited commercial interruption by Verizon.
And that's why I won't go with Hulu, because I'm not going to pay for a service and get commercials. So I find that personally interesting. I mean, I know this is hard to believe, but there was actually a time when HBO had no commercials because you were paying for the content. So I think it should be either way. Either drop the price of my HBO or, give me commercials. Same thing with Hulu as I won't give into the $10 Hulu Plus. I hear the quality's not as good and that their consistency of shows are a little bit off. But here we go. Let's see if we've got decent sound. I never judge anything by the commercial put out because I know the commercial qualities tend to be radically different.
When Carl Sagan, Steven Soder, and I wrote the Cosmos television series in the late 1970s.
I love the Cosmos television series.
Back then, the United States and the Soviet Union held the whole planet in a perpetual
Let's see if we can. Oh, there's some scanning ability. That's kind of nice. I have a hungry kitty here who thinks it's dinner time. Now, this is a little irritating. There's a commercial built into the Hulu a little further along. I think we can conclude the sound works. And I've got to say I have an issue with that. So I won't do Hulu Plus. Some of you may, depending on your conditions and what's going on, you may want to have that. Maybe that's the next step, and that's how we get out of Dish all the way. So I've drone on for quite a bit of time. I think that I've shown all of the features that are relevant. Trying to get out of Hulu. That's interesting. Okay, stop. And then let's go ahead and see if we can exit. Often, if you can't get out anything, if you hit live, that solves all the problems. It goes immediately to its default. Again, I've got, this is over the air. This is, it's been pretty clear. It's been pretty good. I still think Tivo is a little bit. I think it's a buy. I was a little bummed I had some problems with my first one, but honestly, I think that was just a fluke, and I think that it's fairly robust. If you can get a warranty, like through Best Buy, I get a warranty. My cat is bringing over a toy to play. Hello, Momo. If you can get a warranty for a reasonable price, and by reasonable I mean no more than 10 or 20 bucks, that covers at least 2 years, then definitely do it. It's foolish not to. Mine was actually only $10, which kind of says that Best Buy believes that there's some legitimacy to the robustness of the technology. I hope that is useful to anyone who had any more questions, and you can see a lot more, about the menu system, the info, be able to move around. If anyone has any questions, or they want to see something and I've got time to do it, let me know and I'll be happy to help out. And